So good evening, everyone. So we'll wait for like 2-3 minutes more, and then I'll start the session. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, that's great.
Hi Manprit, Irshad here. This side.
Hey, hi Ishad, how are you? Long time.
Good, yeah. Long time, after a long time. Yeah.
So guys, we'll start now. So a very warm welcome to everyone. I'm Manprit and I am a UX strategist. I'm currently in Dubai, but I have worked with large corporates like big enterprise, big companies, and so on. Even worked with a lot of startups, studios, and design studios, and so on. So I've worked and I've worked with a number of people and different kind of organization, and I've gained a lot of experience in design. So that's why I wanted to give back to the society, because I've learned a lot from my seniors, my mentors, my colleagues, and also other people who have like secretly helped me. And so in this workshop, what I'll do is I'll walk you through all the UX processes and will help you build a mobile app. So basically what we'll do is we'll identify a real problem and then use the UX processes to draft that solution. Solutions could be, in this process, you could come across 2 solutions or more, multiple solutions, and then you will choose one solution out of those, and then finally create your own case studies and then draft the real solution. So this is what we'll do in the workshop. And so yeah, we'll do that. And before I start, so this is me. So if you want to read about me, so I am a user experience design consultant and work with a lot of startups, as I said earlier. That's my LinkedIn profile, and that's my Instagram, this Kalsi Academy profile on Instagram. This is what we'll do in this workshop. So before, what we'll do is we'll at the beginning we'll find a challenge, we'll find a problem statement, and then we'll use this UX process to create a solution, and then at the end we'll create a prototype and do the testing and evaluate whether a solution is really right, correct, or not. And this is at a very high level what we'll do. So basically we'll define at the beginning, we'll define what is the brief, what is the project scope, or what is the problem statement that you're trying to solve, or it could be, in other words, like what is the challenge that you're trying to solve. Then what you'll do, we'll gather a lot of information regarding that challenge, like what is the background, who are facing the problem, who is the target audience, what is the scope of your project or the case study, and then you will go back and talk to people, do all the research work, and then after you're done with that, you will start using the research data, research input or research information that you have got, and start creating different sketches, then different solutions. And then once you're done with that, you will start creating prototypes. And once the prototype is done, you will do the testing, and then finally the project or the product will be ready for release. So this is at a very high level we'll do today. And today means like in this workshop, long workshop. And yeah, I'm excited. I hope you are also very excited to be a part of this. And so before I move forward, what I want is, like, I want everyone to one by one, basically. So unmute yourself and then give a small introduction so that I know like who the person is and what you are into, and then we'll adjust and modify my this workshops accordingly. Like once I come to know, like once I know like who you are and what are your specializations, what are your skill sets. And yeah, so I just want to understand you, and then we'll take this forward with the workshop. So what I can do is I can either you can randomly like raise your hand and start give a small introduction about yourself, or if you want, I can take out name, and you can come up and like show your video and talk a little about yourself. So whichever works, please let me know. Anyone can unmute and talk.
Sir, myself Anil Kumar, and I am working in this field last 10 years, and my specialization is UI and UX designing. But currently I am doing only UX part, so I think I can learn everything and study about this workshop.
Great, Anil. That's good. Thank you for being here.
So hi everyone.
next?
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm Prasanna. So hi Manprit, and hi
Hi,
everyone.
Prasanna, how are you doing?
I'm good. So myself Prasanna,
If you
and
want to,
then
if you want to, Prasanna, if you don't mind, if you can show your videos, show your face, so that if it's fine with you, otherwise I'm good with that face.
not right now maybe.
Perfect. That's fine. Next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's
So I've
Sure.
been in this industry from last 10 years. So my education
Right.
background is from fine art, basically artist background.
Good.
But
Perfect.
studied design as well in the college, and then I moved from a basic design background from a graphic designer to a UX. So right now I'm working as a senior usability engineer in DXC Technologies.
Very nice. Great. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Ingrid. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try my video. I've never used this application. Let me.
There's a video.
So I'm not
icon there.
very. Yeah. I'm trying. I think it should be working though, but I can't see myself anyway. Yeah, so I guess I'm the only one without any experience here. I'm a cabin crew. I'm in Dubai, and since we are not flying at the moment, so in my free time, I decided to learn something, and my friend introduced me to the UX design, so I started to research on that.
Perfect.
So this is what I was doing for the last 2 months. I haven't designed anything so far, but I've just learned how to use Sketch and Adobe XD.
Yeah.
So I worked with those two programs and Figma as well. So I think, yeah, that's it. But
That's
I
good.
haven't.
So yeah, that's good. Like, you know, you are aware of the tools, but what you need to learn is the process.
Yes,
so,
yes. I have.
What?
Yeah, I just don't know how to put everything
That's
together. I have like very basic knowledge, but yeah, I don't know where to start, how to finish, and how everything works together. So
that is what you will learn here, and this is like a full. I'll explain about full end-to-end, like how to start, where to start, how to find a challenge, and then how to create a solution for that, and then prototype, and then go to the market and test with the real users before building the real product. So, perfect. Welcome, Ingrid.
Thank you.
How do I spell your name? Ingrid.
Ingrid, yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. Great. Thanks.
Okay, Rama here, Manprit. Good evening.
Hey, hi. Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, this is Rama. I'm having around 14 plus years experience in UI UX actually, but includes 4 years of experience in UX and UI development and UI designs.
Sure.
So that my background was actually the UI development. So I'm just trying to involve more into UI UX designs. So that's why I'm working with Raj Cyber in Chennai, India, Chennai.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hi guys. So I have just recently come to UX, and I'm working in Lollipop. So I'm straight out of my engineering background and into UX, and it's been quite interesting. I have attended one of your workshops. I mean, one of your webinars before. So then I thought, okay, maybe I should enroll myself. It's quite interesting to be in groups.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like in the school we used to take participate in the art and craft classes. So it's something like that, but it's all interesting that too.
Right.
Hi Manprit, Rohit here.
Hey, hi Rohit.
Yeah, hi. So basically, I do have experience around 5 years in the web designing. I did a lot of courses in the IDF and all kind of a workshop I'm attending from around a year. And I joined as a UX UI designer in like a couple of months ago in a new company.
Right.
And I'm aware of these kind of things, but did not have any practical knowledge till now. And I'm looking forward.
Hello, I'm Deepak.
Deepak. Yeah, Deepak, continue, please.
I'm Deepak, and I have 12-year experience in UI UX. Currently, I'm working in AD research in Noida. So just I want to join your session because of I want to learn a lot of things because you have good experience. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good evening,
Yeah.
everyone. My name is Arun
Yeah.
Kumar.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
currently working in a website designing. I have updated myself in a UI UX designing. Thank you.
Myself, Yuvraj, and I'm from Chandigarh, India. And
Yeah.
I'm currently in CS undergrad based in a college from Delhi. And
Yeah.
I've been into coding and have developing Android apps. But I love graphic designing and this stuff. But I can't say I'm an expert at this. But I want to learn more and improve my designing as well. So that's why I thought I would
Sure.
give it a shot here. So thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Hi, I am Manoj. I worked with IoT with Manprit for around 3 years. I started my business from last 3 years as an e-visa help desk. We are government affiliated with the Malaysia as of now.
Perfect. Yeah.
Now, when I get the opportunity to learn UX UI, I enroll myself because I want to learn these things. That will might be help to increase my business as well.
Sure. It will. It's all about understanding users, right? So it will. Yeah.
Yes. I know.
Hi guys, this is Yutika. I'm
Yeah.
probably one of the youngest people here. I'm in first. I just got into second year. I'm doing
Good.
triple honors. I'm doing triple honors in psychology, journalism, and mass communication. I recently
Perfect.
got into design about 10 months ago, and since then I haven't stopped. And seeing this a good window to learn UI UX, I joined in. So I'm glad to be a
Perfect.
part of
Welcome.
this course, and thank you so much.
Perfect. So we'll need your guidance and help in this human psychology and so on. So. Great. Thank you.
So hey, hi everyone. This is Nyoninger. So right now doing my third year computer science from Karunya. It's located in Coimbatore. So I have a great interest in UX. So from so maximum it will be I would have been traveled this UX journey from 6 months. So I love to take this as my career. I'm looking forward to learn from you a lot.
Perfect. So I look forward to teaching you and sharing my learnings. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, this is Irshad.
Hey, hi.
So I have around 13 years of experience and started career with Manprit a long back. So he is my colleague. I spend quite good time with UI UX understanding. So currently I'm associated with HCL Technologies in Noida, and I'm practicing some UX methodologies and practices. So I'm still learning, so that I'm just get some more knowledge on UX.
I'm also still learning.
You are the first guy, Manprit, who told me about the UX long back in 2008.
Yeah, right. I think 2009, I think.
9, yeah.
Yeah. Cool, perfect. Great, thank you for joining.
Hello, Gandhini. I'm studying BCE.
Yeah.
Now only I'm started to learn UX, UI. I know some basics in Adobe XD.
Yeah. Perfect.
I think this platform would help me for that.
Yeah, it will surely help you. So before I call it another someone else, so we need to understand this. That UX process is something, and then knowing tool is a different thing. So UX process is basically like understanding the user and then creating solution around them, like keeping them in mind. Like you build everything for the user. You are making everything for the user. You try to understand their pain points. You understand what are the current problems that they have, and then try to interact with them. Try to understand their emotional and behavioral and other kind of experiences. And then, so at the core is the user. Knowing the tool is 20%, but what happens before that in this process is like 80%, and that is what we'll learn in this workshop.
Hi all, this is Sunil from Chennai, India.
Yeah, Sunil, welcome.
I'm Manprit. So I have around 9 years of experience in UI development and few knowledge. Yeah, and I have knowledge on UI design also. And currently I like to get some experience and knowledge in UX. So I like to join your workshop.
Next who wants to come?
I'm Manprit, Dhinder Singh this side.
Hey Devendra, welcome.
How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. Let me introduce myself as well. I'm working as a
Sure.
web designer and front-end designer from last 9+ years. And I
Right.
want to move my career as a UI UX and learn the process of the UI UX. Actually, we know the how to create the applications and design, but don't
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
the process.
Process.
What is the process?
Perfect.
And the professionals need that. The professional companies need that.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm joining your this online course. And I think thank you to guide us for this course.
Anytime, welcome so much.
Yeah, so hi
Uh,
everyone, Kuljinder this side.
Yeah, Kuljinder, welcome.
Yeah, so I'm working in the UI UX design field, so learn to more about the UX processes and everything, especially the research part and the user stories, creating these kind of user personas. So I want to learn more
Perfect.
about the deep understanding of these research part and everything design.
Sure, perfect. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else who wants to come and introduce yourself? Or should we start?
Yes, sir. We can start now.
So let's start. Okay, so before I move forward, so this is at a very high level the outline of the workshop. So what I'll do is the first is I'll talk about the UX process. So we'll try to understand what is the meaning of UX and the industries where this process is used, and then we'll try to understand what is the UX strategy and how to create a UX strategy that aligns with the business goals and the user goals. So we'll try to understand that, and once we have an understanding of what the UX process is, we'll take a challenge or a real life problem statement and then we'll try to do the research, talk to the user, do all kind of research, whether it's like user interviews, quantitative, qualitative. So I'll walk you through all these things in the process of the workshop, and then we'll also do book benchmarking and then heuristic analysis, try to quantify that and qualify that. After that, we'll also study about how to present those research data, the data that you have collected through different forms of research, how to present that data, how to create personas. So then we'll also create empathy map. That is, we'll try to understand what goes within the mind of the user, or how does he feel, how does he behave when he uses certain products. So basically all the internal happenings, thought processes and so on that happens within the user. So we'll try to create the empathy map for them. Then we'll try creating different user scenarios. At this particular place, what happens? So different ifs and buts. We'll try to take care of those things here. And then once we have understood who the user is, what are their feelings, how they behave, and that's basically the ethnographic study. We'll try to plot a user journey from the point they have first heard about your product, or the point wherein the need of your product arises. Did they use, and so on. So basically, the end journey from the start till the end, we'll try to create journey for that. And then after that, I'll introduce you to design thinking processes, wherein not just you, but the entire, wherein you bring all the team members, everyone, all the stakeholders, even sometimes the users, and do the thinking processes, combined thinking processes that is aligned with the business and the user goals. So once we are done with that, what you do is you try to create different mental models, concept models. In the process, you might come across 4, 3, 5, or 2, like any number of solutions. And then you do the deep dive and start thinking about which is the perfect solution that you should go ahead with. And then after that, you create the information architecture, the interaction flows, and we create sitemaps, screen flows, like what should be the behavior or the experience of if you want them to accomplish a certain goal, what are the different steps that the user has to take. So we'll create everything around that. And once we are done with all the artifacts of the UX, so we'll get into the real stuff, and that's design. And designing, I'll introduce a few of the tools, and we'll do like lo-fi, hi-fi design. And once we are done with the design, we might go out and test with our colleagues, our people, and then we'll do the real prototype in either in InVision or Flinto or some other kind of application. So once we are done with everything, what we'll do is we'll go out and test those prototypes and get the insights, the results, the feedback on those prototypes. And once we have received the feedback, we'll try to iterate the design, improve the design, and then make it ready for the launch. So this is at a very high level what we'll study in this workshop. And so here what I'll do is I'll just give you a small background of what is user experience and a small understanding of what it means and what is user experience and how we should understand that. So every day what we do is like we interact with a lot of brands, right? So whether it's like Apple or any other kind of brands, so we interact with, or in the example we have the Starbucks cup, so we interact with a lot of brands. So what is the brand experience we derive out of when interacting with the brands? Is basically how do we feel, so everything. So that's basically the brand, and brand experience is combined of the customer experience and the user experience and a lot of other things. So brand is a big umbrella which covers the customer experience and the user experience. When we are interacting with any kind of mobile app or the digital website or any internet website or so on, so what is the experience that we derive out of that? That is basically the interaction between you as a person, as a human, and the system, that is the application. So that is the user experience, and customer experience is basically the overall experience. It could be the interacting with the pre-sales agent. It could be using the real product. So that is the user experience. It could be the after-sales services and many other things. So the overall experience that the customer gets from the brand and the user is the customer experience. So in this workshop, we'll just focus on the user experience and take the example of a restaurant or a nice food that's presented to you and the experience that you derive out of it. So this is a very good example, and it's a very old example. So wherein the usability. So basically, any good design, any good solution is comprised of three things. One is the usability, and the other is the presentation, and the third is the experience that you derive out of it. So in this example, what you see is you see the food or served to you. So basically, that is the visual design, that is the content, that is the UI. Or the presentation, that is, or whether you are able to eat it easily, or and what is the experience that you're deriving out of it. So the entire thing, combining the user experience, the presentation style, and it's called as the user experience. And in this workshop, we'll try to understand that nicely, and also the processes. So how do we define this user experience? So it's basically creating user interactions with different kind of devices or systems, and these are mostly digital devices. And what is the experience that we derive out of it, whether it's positive, negative, it's engaging, and so on. So if the product or the services has a better experience or has a good experience, the product is considered to be usable. And also we need to understand here is that when we are talking about the user experience, we are talking about the users, in the real users. So basically, we are talking about the people who are using your product. So understanding them and having a good understanding of their empathy, empathizing with them, and how and where they're using your product is very important in this process. So that is basically the user experience, and the process of designing this experience is called as the user experience design. And it's important to understand that the level of satisfaction is derived based on different factors, and the experience could be bad, neutral, and good. It's dependent on a lot of factors, and the factors could be whether the user liked your product, whether they were able to understand your product, and whether they were able to use your product or not. So that's the usability. And where are these processes used? A lot of industries. It's used to create the industrial products, digital products, a lot of softwares, like all kind of softwares, even the physical device, packaging, and various industries. A lot of industries use these experience processes, and as a UX designer, we should have a good understanding. And in this process, it's very important for us to understand that since we are making or creating products for users, so we need to understand how does the user feel. So Peter Marvelly has created this experience honeycomb, and it's as a UX designer we should understand and create products that makes products that is credible, desirable, and valuable, usable. So all these factors should be there in a good product. I'm just talking at a very high level as of now, but we'll start deep diving into this once we start working on the real product. So these are important points that we need to understand, and that is basically your product should be usable, your product should be useful, desirable. People should be willing to pay money to buy your product and take your services. It should be findable. Like if there are some features or something, some important stuff in your app, people should be like able to use that feature. It should be accessible, and your product should be reliable as such. So basically, they should believe in your product. And why is this important? It's important because we as UXers deal with people, and understanding people is very important. Therefore, it's called as user experience. So since we are working for them, since we are creating digital products for them, it's important to understand their needs. And if they have any questions or any kind of problem, we need to solve that as UXers. And also, when we are creating product, we should create usable product. That means like we should respect the people who are using your product, and then the visual design or the presentation should also be very good. Create experiences that is cross-channel. So the same information should be accessible on the website, on the mobile, and so on. And since there are so many different devices, different resolution, different sizes, so we should create solution that is device agnostic. It should work the same way on all the devices. And the last and not the least, the good UX makes the user feels good, makes him happy, and he enjoys using the solution and the product. So it's our responsibility as the UXers to make things useful. And it's also important to understand that there are some UX principles, so we should follow that when doing this or creating the solution. One is, since this is a UX process, we need to focus on the real users, but there are other aspects, and that's the business goals, because the business is creating the solution for the users. So business has some goals, either making money or something. So the alignment should be there between the user goal and the business goals. We should be making data-informed decision, not just by emotion, but we should rely on data and then create solutions, right? And then here we should understand the user's mental model, where, when, and how he uses the product. So we should understand the user in the deep level, and then we should create a consistent solution. We should also take care of usability and accessibility. Usability means whether they are able to use it or not, and accessibility is basically whether they are able to access the solution on all the channels. Less is more. Always we should use simple language, and we should use typography. Sometimes it's very important. So serious businesses need serious kind of typography, whereas like if you're creating solution for kids, so the typography and the presentation style should be totally different. And we should always interact with the user and keep taking feedback, because that will help you evolve your product. Creating this solution, we should always take confirmation before from users. Like if you're making some payment, so take confirmation from the users and so on. So this will understand and learn during the process. In the UX process, we carry like different skill sets. Start with the user research, then we create the information architect, then the experience, then the interaction, and so on. So basically, this is what we do overall as a UXer, and it's very important to understand what each role or what each person in the entire UX process does. So we'll learn that, and we also need to understand that. So basically, like the entire UX process involves different people. So basically, there could be like one or many product managers. It can be like different business analysts, information architecture, technology person, the techie, the UI developer, then the visual designer, UX designer, copywriter. So there are like a lot of people, different kind of skill sets, and different people involved in the entire UX process. And here it's very important to understand what is your particular skill set. If you are good in interaction design, then you should develop that particular skill and evolve your skill, rather than like getting into the product owner part and learning those skills. So you need to understand who you are as the UXer and evolve and learn and enhance your skill in that. So some people are called as the generalist here, and the other are called as specialist. So this is at a very high level what is the user experience design looks like, and who are the people involved in this. So what we'll do next is we'll take a few challenges, and then we'll start creating different solutions for that. So this is at high end, the activities and the artifacts that we create in the process. So on the top, what you see is the different activities. So basically, we'll take a challenge first, and then we'll start with the discussions. That is, we'll define the business vision, we'll define the product goals, we'll understand who the users are, what are the key features or the product features that you need to create for them, and what are the user journeys, and then the roadmap. Few of these artifacts we'll create, but I'll make you understand what each means, and that is the alignment phase. We have a challenge, we have a problem statement, and then we are aligning ourselves and that's business goals and the user goals, and we're aligning on it, and then taking it to the next step, and that is the learn. So basically, once we have the problem statement, what we do is we try to learn and gather data and information from the real users, from the market, from the society, and so on. So basically, here in the learn process, what we do is we understand who are using your product, the personas. We also try to do UX audit. If that's an existing, then you do this, and if not, then what you do is you try to do the comparative analysis, wherein like you compare your product or your solutions, what you wish to develop, with the other similar kind of products available in the market. Then you do different kind of empathy design, task flows, user journeys, experience mapping, and so on. That is basically you have learned, and then you try to create a presentation. You try to create different artifacts. That is basically you're trying to understand more about the users. Then what you do is you try to ideate, and that is basically you start drafting the solutions. And these are basically high-level sketches and so on. So these are create information architecture, and once you have created that roughly, you try to evolve that, and then you do the planning, and that is basically you try to prioritize. So suppose in the solution you have figured out there are like 10 different things that you want to create, but you can't do everything in one go. So you prioritize stuff, what should go first in the market. You basically try to create a minimum viable product, that's like the MVP, and then you collect all the resources. It could be like people resources, technology resources, application resources, and so on. You gather it together and then start creating the real product. That is basically you try creating the low-fi. Low-fi is called as the low-fidelity prototype. That is where it could be a paper prototype, it could be a basic wireframe prototype. And once you're done with that, you go to the user, take the feedback, and then do the real high-end prototyping. So in this workshop, we'll learn how to create 5 prototype, and then the user testing. So till this we'll learn, and once you're done with that, you even take the feedback from the expert people in the industry, and after that it's an iterative process. It is an evolving process wherein you keep going back to the user, you keep taking feedback from the user, and then you keep evolving your product. So we'll use this particular process to create a product. So next, what I need and what I want is, I want you all to post your challenges, like whatever you have thought of group, and then we'll start discussing on that. Take those challenges, and then I'll start talking on how to create solutions around that. So I've shared a link in the chat, so you can use that link to in your the challenges or the problem statement that you want to use. I hope you have done the basic thinking of what solution you would like to create. Anyone there who wants to post his problem statement? Anyone there who wants to post his challenge? Or should I continue? Yeah, hello.
I was posting my the idea.
I'm also adding a...
So please use that link.
Okay.
That Slido, that app.slido link. Dhirinder, can you post this this question in the app Slido, that link that I've shared? Perfect. So I've got 2 questions, so I'll share this with everyone. Just a minute. So I want similar kind of questions from everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So these are the different challenges, right? So I don't know who has written this, the first one. I need to work on education where app should not be public, only for registered school. Can use the app for live classes, related YouTube channels, etc. Okay, so this is okay. I often see people who work at night shift. But this is a good one. So we'll take this as one use case, as a problem statement, and we'll try to create a use case around this. Most people want to lose fat or muscle gain, but they don't have an idea what diet to follow. Okay, so we'll create one solution around this too. I was thinking about creating an app for cinema where it could be possible to buy tickets, check what movies are available at which locations. So this one, we already have a lot of different apps for this. So if we create it, it will be any other kind of app. So what is your use? My solution would be the inverse sleep tracker for night owls. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. how can we get the exact data and requirement about the product design. So the render we'll learn about how to get data and requirement about the product design when I'll talk about research part. If it's a new product, then sometimes it becomes difficult, but if it's an existing product, every company or the team is required to like use some kind of analytic tools, and by using those analytic tools like Google Analytics, Firebase, or so on, so you can easily get information about the what are the top used features, or how much time the user are spending on the page or the screen, and so on. So we can get data from different sources, and if it's a new app, what we do is we try to do a comparative analysis, and we try to see what is the benchmarking report of the similar kind of product in the industry. So we can buy these kind of reports from different service providers. And Yutika, I want to create an app that helps a consumer understand their product, use their product, and have a good retention with its maker all in one space. Okay, so here the idea is good, but we need to stick to few verticals or few services, and I want you to improve and stick to one industry, or it could be multiple also, but what are the exact things, like, because the products can be like different kind of products, so whether you want to the electronic products or sports products or what kind of products. So try to think more on this. There should be an app where people can find handymans to help them household works like lawn mowing, plumbing. Perfect. So if there is a need, you can create that kind of solution in this workshop. So that's great. So what we'll do here is we'll try to take one or two examples. So let's take one example, any one examples of like what Kuljinder has said. Let's take that example as a problem statement, and then start working and using our Gix processes to create solutions. So let's take that simple example. So basically a marketplace for these kind of services, lawn mowing, then plumbing, mowing, and so on. So here, what you need to do is we need to define what is the problem statement. Before we define that statement, what we need to do is we need to do the market analysis, market research, as in are there any similar kind of solutions that's there in the market, and if there are, so where do they stand? What are the different solutions or the services that people are mostly using, and what is the price point at which they are buying it? So doing all this kind of studies is very important. The first is the market study you need to do. Second, you need to go and study about the user. How often do they use the services? Are they facing any kind of problem in using those services? Is the solution available only on the website or also the mobile solution? So basically everything about the user and so on. So basically what you do then is you define a problem statement. By creating this particular solutions, I'm trying to solve this particular problem of the user. You also define who the users are. And also define where this product will be used, which market, which place, whether it will be used locally, where do you plan to roll out. So you need to plan and put everything together. And once you are done with that, you go out into the market and start getting insights. So basically what you do, going into the market, you need to define like what kind of research you want to do. So basically understanding market, understanding user, and understanding the business use case, basically whether that solution is required or not. So suppose this is a use case. So what you do is you are trying to understand more about whether there is real need of that or not, and then you start understanding what kind of services you would be offering. Basically, what you do here is you try and define a statement saying what is that you are actually trying to make, and so basically the services, who the users will be. So basically target group with the rough work, and here you try to understand why you're making this, for whom you're making this, where will this service be used, and if there are any competitors, and so on. So basically trying to get a complete understanding of your product, the services you will be delivering, and your users and the location. So once you're done with that, this is just the rough work. This is just the ideation or the once you have that problem statement, you do the rough ideation. So you parallelly what you're doing is you're also understanding user. You're going and talking to them. You're trying to understand them and trying to get a lot of information. So in this first stage, what we do is we do the research. So as I said earlier, so we do two kind of research. One is the qualitative research, and the other is the quantitative research. So now what is qualitative and quantitative? Quantitative means it's in numbers. You get information or the data results in numbers, and the qualitative is information that you gather. So basically here what you do is you gather information from the users. As I said earlier, real users. and also the other stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders here? The business people. You go to the subject matter experts who are already in this market and offering similar kind of services, people who have a better understanding of that particular industry. You go to them, you talk to them, you present your idea and try taking feedback and input from them. If there is any research work that's already done, you try to learn and read about that. And what you also do is competitive audits. So you try to see similar kind of products. And then once you're done with that, you also do what you do is you try to understand the demographics. That is basically where the location, as I mentioned earlier. So basically where this product will be used and the market segments. Basically, you're aligning everything. That is the solution that you're building for the user and the business goals. So basically the user and the business goals. And this is very interesting model. It's called as the business canvas model. So this is one page document that can help anyone, like as a UXer or as the business owner, define whether that your solution is going to work or not, or what is that you want, what you should be doing, and what is that you want to achieve to create something meaningful. I think till today we should stick to this, and we have some more ideas. So Logan Antini is saying that I thought of creating an app to sell agricultural products. Okay. And then Anonymous is saying would like to create the app for local store, medical store, and for e-visa, which includes the e-visa. Okay. So these are two different things. Local store and medical store is one thing, and e-visa is a third different kind of services. So then Anonymous is food recommendation app that shows suggestions for people who like to explore different restaurants and recommendations of what people can try when they visit. This is a good idea. We can explore on this. So everyone use one problem statement, we go about it different. So what we'll do is, like Parna, we'll create different groups. I don't know the skills of the different people, so what I'll do is I'll create an Excel and share with everyone. So what you can do there is you can start putting your so I'll create different groups and you can put in your name there, and basis that I'll pick one or two people from each group and create groups, and I think like that will be the best approach. Single S, no? Right, so team one is one. Into team one we have Prasanna, Yutika, Ingrid, then Logandhini, and then Manoj Kumar. So this is team one. Then the team B is Anil, Rohit, Yuvraj, Jayashree, Mudit, and Pavneet. Team C is Amjad, Deepak, Harsh, Amritpal, Dhiren, and Arun. And team D is Kuljinder, Parna, Dhiren, Jalinder, Janinder, and Arun and Sunil. So one problem statement, or basically define one problem statement that you would like to solve using this UX process. And then what we'll do is we'll create the real prototype. So we'll create mobile app for that, and we'll what we can then do is like we can share with other teams and try getting their feedback. And next what I'll do is I have one document. I'll share that document with you. You can use that particular document to fill in the information. Basically, that document will have what is the problem statement, the real user, or the target group that you want to target using this. Then other things like the geographies and like the technology that you'll be using, or different channels that you'll be using, and how will you reach the people. So everything around the product, not just the UI UX stuff or the UX stuff, but also the as a product owner, since you are defining this product, how will you market that, and how will you reach people, and so on. So everything around that.
Per team, or
Per team. So what we'll have to do is you'll have to individual team. So you'll have to connect with each other in the group and create your own subgroup. And then once I post that document, you can use that document. You can discuss among yourself, and then create and define what you want to achieve. Basically, you have to work on one. So you have to decide. You will discuss and decide, and this will be a teamwork rather than like an individual work.
Okay, so in the group.
Yeah.
So how do we decide which problem do we solve? Is it going to be assigned per group, or we decide ourselves in the
not
group?
assigned. So
Okay,
you will discuss among yourselves. So basically, like you are in group A, right?
A,
So
yes.
you'll discuss with Manoj, Logan, Indini,
Yes.
then and Yutika and Prasanna. So you have to talk to them. You can create your own group and then then you'll use my document to create and define everything, and then in the next session I'll start talking about how to do research, what are the different kind of research, how do you define that the solutions, or like how the thought process should be going, and everything around that. Yep, perfect. So I think that's it for the day. Today was the first day, so here and there, but from tomorrow it will be like it will be defined, and we'll be able to do good.
Hope so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next session will be when on Saturday or Sunday?
On Saturday, same time.
Saturday, same time.
And yeah. Perfect then. Then I'll see you in the next session on Saturday.
Yep.
Same time.
Thank you for your time.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.